gonna be talking about football, basketball, and whatever the fuck is on my mind. Sorry for the language. I know this is a kid-friendly channel. But let's get started. Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James. Them going back and forth at each other. And I just want to know y'all's opinions on it. So, but I'm going to start with my opinion. And, y'all are free to give y'all's opinions in these comments and everything. But I'm going to start with my opinion. And this may sound biased or anything, but don't get me wrong. LeBron James is my favorite player. Just straight in that. But I would try my hardest to be as unbiased as possible. Because, honestly, I have a lot of respect for Stephen A. Smith. But honestly, so my thoughts on the little situation just going on. We saw LeBron approach Stephen A. Smith trying to talk about, as a father, the criticism that, was going on. Y'all know what's going on, the criticism. I just think in certain issues, it's okay to do your job. Stephen A. Smith has a very, very amazing resume. And we've seen it time and time throughout of all the good stuff that he's done. For whether y'all don't like it or not, he has done good stuff. Okay. He's not a bad person. So that's just my start on that. But I think when you do your job, and his job is to critique and do all that stuff. But I think when you do your job, you have to do it to where you're at least respectable. And oftentimes we get so caught up in how we feel about situations that we like to bash and get all personal. And in that case, well, before all this, Stephen A. Smith has said some pretty personal things about Bronny, and as a father, LeBron James went up to go talk to Stephen A. Smith as a father. And it wasn't as like he was mad or anything, but he was just, as a father, like, you got to stop. You can't be all personal. And my stance on this stuff is like, you do your job. You do your job to the best of your ability. But the second you stoop into somebody's personal business, that's where you cross the line in this industry. And like, Bron ain't the first player that this has happened to. This happened all the time. We saw this with Michael Jordan and his whole gambling accusations and stuff. They started getting to him on a personal level. People were just like, that's not good and that's not cool. You don't stoop into people's personal life just how what they've done or how you feel about it. Y'all see what I'm saying? But like I said before, I respect Stephen A. Smith a lot. But him just going on air and then still like bashing Bron about Bron, basically still bashing Bron. It's just like he's having a field day with this right now. I like how Bron went on the show later, or not later, but earlier today, and really spoke about this instance. And I think he played it smart. He didn't just initially attack Stephen A. Smith after what he said on TV, yet he waited. And we really got to hear his side of the story. And what he said kind of made some sense. And let me see, I pulled this up earlier, made a post about it. Never would I allow people who talk about the sport to criticize players about what they do on the court. That's your job to criticize. This is from LeBron. And he has a very valid point. I agree with him. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and get personal with it, it's his job to protect my damn household, but protect the players. LeBron James, he quoted that earlier. And I really do agree with that. I just think you can't go too far when you're doing your job, because not everybody's going to handle it the same way. And Stephen A. Smith got a lick of that when Bron approached him after the game. And like I said, Bron approached him as a father. And Stephen A. was just doing his job. Did Stephen A. take it a little bit too far? Yes. But like you said, everybody has their side to a story. He had his side, LeBron has his side. But really, I just want these two to clear this out, because these are two of my favorite people in the sports industry, my favorite analyst and one of my favorite players of all time. I want them to clear this and hash this out, because them going back and forth is just not going for it. I mean, I didn't really expect Stephen A. Smith to hop on television and go talk about Bron going on the Pat McAfee show like that quick. So really, I just think they should just be adults and just resolve this out. Now, I don't want to talk too much about that, because I think we have some other important, like very, very important topics to talk about. Bronny James. And recently he's really started to put a lot of people on, like, get a lot of people's attention. That's how I'm gonna put it. And at the beginning of the season, a lot of people criticized him, not me, because I supported him since he was in college and in high school because I know the talent that he has right there, and he's finally starting to show in the league. Um, but yeah, back to that. I think a lot of people criticized him only because he was Bron's son, and I mean that's valuable. I mean not valuable, but that makes sense. He is one of the greatest players of all time, if not the best player of all time in basketball. So yeah, people gonna be coming for your kids because they want to be held to that higher standard, and many people just felt Bronny wasn't ready. But here's where I say we saw all the flashes that he had in high school, all the flashes. He gets to college and has a heart attack, or I forgot what the injury was, honestly. But he has this little medical injury that sidelines him. And people expected him to be like he was in high school. No, that takes time. People got to get there. They got to get it back. Now, yeah, do I think he was drafted in the second round too early? I have my opinions on that. I think yes, but I think he deserved it because we can see the flashes now. Now he looks like he deserved to be picked at that spot. He's really putting a lot of people's head up when we talk about him, how he performs in the G League. One of my most best performances that I've seen Bronny play in the league was probably when he put up that 17 points. And everybody was downing him at the beginning of the season, saying, oh, he's not going to score no points in the league. But as time went on, we slowly start to see the jump. And that is just what I like about Bronny so much. The fact that he was able to block out all that criticism as a rookie. All that criticism, I know is hard. I just know it's hard. And for him to block all that criticism out and go talk about how he was able to just silence that and keep working, it just shows somebody that, you know what I'm trying to say. Back to this. He's putting up amazing numbers in the G League. Amazing numbers. And honestly, I don't know off the top of my head because, I don't watch the G League, but every time I get a chance to watch his highlights, it just never fails to impress me. From his maybe first week in the G League, he impressed me. I think soon enough, you put him into that rotation. If you just let him finish out this year in the G League, right? Let him keep developing. He works over the offseason. Maybe next year you start really putting him into the lineup, not the starting lineup, but you insert him into that lineup. He is young. The Lakers are slowly starting to get young again with the Luka signing. Bron's time is almost coming to an end. The Lakers are about to start getting young again. We already see Connect, Bronny, Luka, like Reeves, Rui, all these players, these young, I'm not going to say they're not young. Well, Reeves and Rui, they're not young, but Connect and Bronny, these two players show flashes for the team. And that's what I like most about it. So I think, in my opinion, I think you put Bronny into that rotating lineup next season as he continues to develop. Maybe that's up to the Lakers organization if they want to keep him on a two-way. I think, honestly, he has what it takes to perform in that lineup and perform well. He just got to put in the work. But that's just basically my stance on that. Bronny James, I'm going to keep rooting for you because your dad is my favorite player of all time, which makes you one player that I'm going to support till you retire. And just some things I got to say, just keep ignoring the criticism and keep developing. That's all that matters. You in the league. These people ain't. Let them continue to hate. You making millions. Basically, that's how I'm gonna wrap up this brief segment. Just wanted to talk about a little bit of Bronny James. I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe. Make sure y'all also follow Inside the Locker Room. Make sure y'all follow all my team members. Wouldn't be here without them. Thank y'all, and y'all have a good night.